All right, Mr. Sullivan, you are the Nazem Kadri man, and he did not get selected as of yet, and we will get to all of that. Did not get selected as the initial 10 guys to represent the Central Division. Can you give me maybe a one-word summary on how you are feeling right now, sir?
Frustrated.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom. Kyle Sullivan is in the house. And on today's episode, we got some bones to pick, maybe, with the NHL and some all-star selections, one in particular, obviously, that affect the Colorado Avalanche. We will talk about this weekend, the Avalanche 2 games coming up with Arizona. So we'll kind of talk about that. And in particular, a player in Jakob Chychrun who has been on the market. Is this something the Avalanche should look at? We'll talk about that. But first things first, follow the show on social media outlets, LOP_Avalanche on Twitter, Locked On Avalanche on Instagram. Send questions, comments, concerns, opinions to lockedonavalanche@gmail.com and follow the show on our YouTube channel over on YouTube. Hit subscribe and get notified when a new show goes live. So the all-star players were announced for the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan MacKinnon is in and Cale Makar is in. We knew MacKinnon would be because we knew he was leading the voting for the captaincy for the Central Division. So we kind of knew that was a given. We kind of assumed Cale Makar was going to be in. And this is the problem, having a team with a lot of talent and a lot of guys who are having good seasons. You just can't load up with one team. So the Avalanche get those two in. And right now, that's it. Nazem Kadri is not. That doesn't mean he can't. He is up for the vote in for the fan vote to get that 11th player. And if you are not voting, you can go to the NHL website, vote up to 10 times a day, every day. So get on that. And we'll talk about who he's up against in a second. But yeah, Kyle is the Nazem Kadri man. And we'll talk about it. But was it just the unluck of the draw, I guess? You can't fit every Avalanche player in here. Should he have been in? And according to Avalanche players, the only one that he would have been in over is Cale Makar. And are you really going to put him in over Cale Makar? I don't know. I mean, that's a conversation to be had, but what's your take on this right now?
Well, this is one of those situations that sure is nice to be an Avalanche fan. You have Bednar coaching the all-star squad. You have Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar. You can't have the all-star team be the Avalanche. Understandable. If you want to go down to statistically, like, Nas is up there. Yeah. I mean, he's been doing the work this year. Yes, Cale Makar does great things at great times and is trendy and viral and the new up-and-coming name, which some could argue is good for the sport and good for the All-Star game and good for – that's who people want to see. Everybody knows who Nas is, and if he made it, everybody would understand. But I think it's one of those situations people want to see Cale Makar
right
more than they see – and it's voting based. Like, he's still got that option. And by the way, it's very easy to do. If you're on the fence, join me literally every day until my birthday, and let's vote Nas in as the 11th man. I haven't voted so hard since Ruben stuttered in American Idol, but like, it's super easy to do. But I mean, it'd be nice for him to get in, but it's understandable that he's not. And one more point, I saw today, Pierre LeBrun, I forgot all about this completely, that the hockey ops go to each general manager about these all-star selections to check in on them, because there's a 1-game suspension if you say I'm not playing in the all-star game.
Right.
So I forgot about that rule entirely. So that's also something in there. Maybe Nas gets away scot-free. I mean, he's getting up there in age, so why not take it off a little bit?
I could see that, but I could also see him wanting to stick this to the NHL.
Oh,
you know, for what they did to him in the suspension last year, I think he wants to go
John Scott.
Yeah. And this begs the question, and this is something we talked about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who should go to an All-Star game?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the All-Stars? Is it Cale Makar, Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid, stuff like that? Or should guys that just are having a incredible season like Nazem Kadri be rewarded with that?
Yeah.
And that is a great conversation to have, and you can go on either side of it. I think, if you're having a season like Nazem Kadri is, he's not just having a above average season for him. He's at the top of the league, of the league. So I think for that, you have to recognize that. I don't know. Like I put it up on Twitter, and people are kind of, putting their own take on things. But for the team that the Central has right now, and I don't want to get into, well, if you replace this guy with this guy, and then you can slot Nas in here. I can't do that because I can't move all these guys around. Based on the 10 guys that are in the Central right now, the only way Kadri can get in is if he replaces Kaprizov on Minnesota. So that's the question I put out. Is Kadri more deserving right now of being a shoe-in, not a vote-in, a shoe-in, over Kaprizov? And not taking anything away from Kaprizov, because he is a star.
Yeah.
I think for this year, you can make that argument for Nazem Kadri to be in there right now, giving the Avs 3 guys, and you wouldn't even need to vote him in.
Yeah. Then you walk into that conversation, which I'm kind of behind. Like, if you had an All-Star game where it's Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, MacKinnon, like, you have all those names in there, that's great and wonderful. Mm-hmm. But I've been watching hockey for so long. I would love a game with Zegras, Raymond, Kaprizov, Makar, like those young guns. Like, let's go at it. Like, we all pile around the World Juniors and like the Olympic Games. We like watching that youth. Like, why spend time in an All-Star game like touting like Sidney Crosby for one more last time? Ovechkin, I mean, he's still performing at a high level, but like, why not like turn it over to the young kids? I mean, this is the first time with ESPN and TNT. Let the new hot names get out there. Like, if Zegras gets on a national stage, because I mean, he's got the disadvantage of being a West Coast team. Like, nobody stays up to watch Ducks games. Like, give him the spotlight.
Well, I don't know if the NBA still does it. Didn't they do something like that? I mean, it wasn't the All-Star game, but it was like rookies versus sophomores or something like that.
It's like a rookie challenge or something.
Something, I don't know what it was. And I don't think the NHL does anything. I don't pay attention to the All-Star game. I pay attention who is awarded as an All-Star. I hate All-Star games. I'm not a fan of them. They just disrupt the season. I would much rather play the whole season, and then at the end of the year say you were an All-Star, and then just give them a nice award. And I don't need a game. I just think they're boring.
I think after your 5th year in the league, 5th year NHL service, you're exempt. You're old enough where you can just sit at home and just keep this a fresh young game.
Yeah.
Like,
but again, like, people want to see Ovechkin and Cross. Like, they want to see those guys, and they want to see them in this setting. So
you can pull that up on ESPN Plus anytime you want nowadays. Like,
it's true. Yeah.
Not everybody gets the chance to watch Zegras and stay up late and watch those, or dive and watch the Sharks and the Red Wings for the 100th time.
I mean, I'm not against doing that as something separate.
Yeah, true.
But should it replace the All-Star game? I can't go that far. But like we said, Kadri is up for the 11th man in through fan voting, and here's who he's up against in the Central Division: Phil Kessel, who I would say, no. Seth Jones, who I would say no. Jason Robertson from Dallas Stars, I would say no. Ryan Hartman, he's having a very good season, but is he having the season up to what Nazem Kadri is doing? I would say no. Roman Josi, and that's a difficult one because he's a defenseman, obviously. Well, so is Seth Jones, but Roman Josi is a name. He is a big name. He's not going to have the stats Kadri does, but just from name recognition, I think Josi is going to be his biggest competition. You have Robert Thomas having a good year, again, not to Kadri level, and Mark Scheifele, who is having an okay season, And he is another name recognition guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Kadri's biggest competition here by far is Roman Josi.
Go figure.
Yeah, right. I know. So get out there, vote for him 10 times a day. He's getting 20 a day from us right here. So,
You betcha.
And I think Kyle is going to create maybe a few extra accounts. I don't know if that's legal. Maybe skew the voting.
My birth name, my nickname, the options are endless.
Yeah. I think you finally signed your son up for an email address. His first one.
My daughter, everyone at school,
everybody. Yeah. So I don't know. And again, it's fan service. It's fun. It's an all-star game. You know, guys like Makar and MacKinnon are going to have plenty of them. Kadri might not. He might not. And to reward him for the season that he's having right now, I think is something that is deserving for him. So
absolutely.
Good luck to him. All right. Let's hear from Built Bar, and then we'll get into some Avalanche, Arizona Coyotes talk. And I think we'll start with Jakob Chychrun and maybe some trade bait out there, maybe for the Avs. All right. But first, Built Bar. And you know Built Bar and you love it. And it's the new year. And what are we on? January 14th. So is your New Year's resolution still intact? Was it about getting fit or eating healthier? And if it was, then make Built Bar part of that plan. It's the protein bar that tastes more like a candy bar and probably even better than a candy bar. And it makes it easier to stick to that resolution because it tastes so darn good. And it doesn't taste chalky. It doesn't taste waxy or
like a chemical spill.
Yeah, you want to eat healthy, but it just gets boring. Right around now, you might be thinking, I can't do it anymore. I need some chocolate. Well, you're in luck because Built Bars are covered in 100% chocolate. Most bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, with 17 grams of protein, compared to a regular candy bar, which could have upwards of 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and the carbs are off the charts. So go to built.com right now. Use the promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off of your order. Once again, that promo code is LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. So the Arizona Coyotes, we know they are in massive rebuild mode, just selling off everything that they can. I think the seats aren't bolted down in the arena that they're getting kicked out of. They would probably sell those to make a buck, or trade it for a draft pick, maybe.
I haven't seen that mascot in a while either.
No, yeah, it's true. I think the one guy that everybody said they're not going to put him on the market was Jakob Chychrun. Young star defenseman, only 23 years old, a really good cap number at 4.6 that you have for another 4 years, including this year. So you got 3 years after this season is over. And he's a budding star on the defensive end. And then they came out a little while ago and said, no, he is available too, but it's kind of a king's ransom to get him. I think it was a high prospect, a high player, and a first rounder for him. So I think, I don't know if they're going to get all 3 of those. Maybe a combination of 2 of them might suffice, because, and maybe even do without the first round pick, which I know. And the only reason I say that is because they have 4 of them in the next 2 years. They have 3 of them in this next draft.
Exactly.
They have 3 first round picks, 4 second round picks. You know, that's 7 picks in 2 rounds is crazy. There's no way they're keeping that many. So they're going to trade a lot of those. Not a lot of them, a few of them, I'm sure. Could they package a couple of those second round picks and get another first round pick and have 4 first round picks? It's always possible. I mean, the NHL world is their oyster right now when it comes to the draft, because they are just loaded. So and one of those first round picks is the Avalanche when they traded for Darcy Kemper. Could the Avalanche be in on this, or should the Avalanche be in on this? And when you look things up on who could be in and who is available, you don't hear the Avalanche, which is surprising because it seems like the Avalanche are always in on the big name. But you're hearing the Blues, you're hearing the Blues, you're hearing the Kings. and you're not hearing anything Avalanche. I'm surprised at that, and I'll explain why in a minute, but I want to just get your thoughts on this whole situation with him.
I think we're sitting on what, 10 million free in the cap?
Who right now?
Yes.
We got nothing in the cap. No. We I mean, some is when you have like who's in our injured reserve right now, McDonald is. I mean, we are right up against the cap.
Because Chychrun, yes, he's got high upside. He's a wonderful talent. It's not having the greatest of years in Arizona this year, but who is really, other than Phil Kessel? Again, this is one of those that the Avalanche are first in the Western Conference in points percentage. It doesn't look that way on the standings, but look at the points percentage because that's what matters. Do we want to gamble on Jakob Chychrun on the defense?
Yeah. I don't think it's a gamble.
But I'm saying, do you want to mess up the decor that's been kind of problematic, but they know how to work with each other? With where you're sitting right now in the Western Conference, do you want to make a move on that back end and put in somebody new who has to learn this up tempo? You got to drop it back to Nathan MacKinnon, or he's going to yell at you. Like, do you really want to teach somebody about 35, 40 games in a season? Hey, this is how it goes.
Yeah, I'd be willing to take that risk. I think he could learn it relatively quickly. And here's the other thing I think about. We're all expecting Bo Byram to not be back for a while.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And rightly so. He shouldn't be back for a while. So is there anybody that you have right now that can replace him? I mean, he's a top 4 pairing. No, I don't think so. Nobody you can just slot in and say, like, we're not losing anything. I think you could do that with Chychrun. I really do. I think, and I love his cap number. And so here's my offer. The first round pick, you know what? That's for next. It would have to be for next year because you already have ours for this year. That would be for next year. Fine, I'll give you my first round pick. And and again, this is like Shark Tank. I'm giving you everything that you want right now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming with a counter offer.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful. All right. If I'm going to give you everything you want, fine. You get the first round pick, which in a couple ways I'm okay with because the Avalanche they're set for a little while. It's always nice having first round pick. I'm not saying I just want to willingly give them away, and you wouldn't have a first round pick for the next 2 years. So I'll give you the first round pick. You want a high end prospect? I'll give you. I mean, what's a high end prospect? Is it someone that's touched NHL ice or no? I'm not going to give you both. I don't think I should have to give you one of our high end players and a prospect who's been on NHL ice. So I'll give you Shane Bowers.
Ooh.
I'll give you Shane Bowers. I'll give you my first round pick. And you want to know who I'm going to give you as a player? Do you want to take a guess?
You giving us Berkey?
I'm going to give you Andre Burakovsky because he is a unrestricted free agent. Forget about the trade. Forget about Chychrun right now. Are you signing Andre Burakovsky next season in the offseason?
No.
Probably not. Then go get something for him. And what you're getting in return is like I said, a budding star on the defensive end that you have signed for 3 years after this. And his cap number is $300,000 less than Burakovsky. The cap doesn't even come into play with that deal.
What did you say Chychrun's cap hit was?
4.6.
And
Burakovsky's is 4.9. And I like Andre Burakovsky. You have to give something up. You know what I mean? Like when we did that show with the Chicago guy who wanted to give us Patrick Kane and take our whole team, basically. Like you can't do that. You're gonna have to give up something you don't want to give up. And do I want to give up Burakovsky? Not necessarily, because if he gets hot in the playoffs, he can take you far. But we've seen his up and down nature. And I think it's kind of driving him out of Colorado to the effect of they're not going to try to re-sign him for next year. So why wouldn't you try to get something? And like I said, and what you're getting in return not only is a very good young defenseman, but you have a little bit of term on him because you got him for 3 more years after this year. And you don't know what's going on with Bowen Byram either. Solves a good amount of problems, in my opinion.
Why are to throw it back at this? I like your deal. I love it. It's wonderful, beautiful.
Yep. Sign me up, Joe Sakic.
Can we take Gostisbehere, who's a 4.5 cap hit,
along with Chychrun?
No,
like include him in the deal. Oh, I mean, I'm not doing that deal for Gostisbehere, but I will take Shane Gostisbehere. He is my boy.
Shane, he's at a 4.5.
Yeah,
and we could do Barron, Berkey, and the pick
for
Gostisbehere.
No. I can't. No, I wouldn't do that for Gostisbehere. He's good. He's not.
I feel like it's level. The only reason I present that it's a little bit less of a gamble because you're turning a key on Chychrun. You're hoping that this is something that's going to pay off. You know what Gostisbehere can and cannot do. And I think it could translate. And the little bit of a pricier prospect for just a little bit cheaper on what you're getting. And Gostisbehere is performing infinitely is kind of strong, but he's performing a lot better than Chychrun is to this point with Arizona. So
number wise, I mean, yeah, he's making, but it's not that much of it. He's making 4.5 and Chychrun's making 4.6. So yeah, you're not really looking at the cap amount because that's technically the same. You're looking at production. I know, like when you look at what Chychrun's done for this year so far, it's like next to nothing. And the other thing is he is hurt right now. He's not playing. Does that bother me? Not so much, again, because I think he'll come back and he'll be okay. And it's not like he's a rental. You're not just picking him up for this year to finish out the season and hope he stays healthy. If he can't stay healthy, then I mean, it's a little bit of a mistake, but you have him for the following 3 years. And Gostisbehere is only signed next year. He is signed. And after that, he's an unrestricted because he will be 29 years old. So you have someone that's 5 years younger in Chychrun and who is kind of projected to be a top defenseman in this league going forward, man.
I think it'd be something that works well because we're pushing for the cup this year. Yeah. And with Nathan MacKinnon's contract going the way it is, we have to make one of those Ray Bork, Theo Fleury moves, possibly this year, to capitalize on what we have going with this Avalanche squad as it is. Because next year and the year after, it might not look the same. So if we're going to catch that cup, it's got to be now.
It's not going to look the same because when you look at the Avs forwards, we talked about it before. There's only I can tell you right now. The only forwards that are signed next year: Rantanen, Landeskog, MacKinnon, Comfer, Tyson Jost, Alex Newhook, and Logan O'Connor. You have Burakovsky as a unrestricted, Kadri as an unrestricted, Nichushkin as an unrestricted, Abe Kubel is restricted with arbitration, and Helm is unrestricted. You got a lot of contracts coming off the books.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love Shane Gostisbehere. You know that, from my hometown.
Yeah.
Little Schenectady, New York, Union College, winning the national championship. That's my man. I've always wanted to see him in an Avalanche uniform, but when you got someone like Chychrun available, I think I go after him. It's just my take. Would I be okay with Gostisbehere? Yeah, but I things are a little bit different. I don't know if I'd give up Barron. I wouldn't give up Barron and Burakovsky. No way. Not for Shane Gostisbehere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. So there you have it. When that deal gets made, I will no longer be part of the Locked On Avalanche podcast, and I'll be working at the front office for the Colorado Avalanche. So, all right, running a little long in this segment, so let's get to Bet Online and then kind of quickly talk about the weekend's games. So, BetOnline would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear. So, BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. It's a new year, a new updated desktop and mobile website. When you sign up today, you'll receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code Locked On to get started. From football, basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all of your favorite sports. It's where the game starts. That is betonline.ag. Avalanche with a back-to-back, home and home against the Arizona Coyotes, who obviously we were just talking about. And never sleep. You know, we talk about parity in the league all the time and how the Avalanche struggled with the Kraken. They got past them. The Coyotes, you know, have been bottom dwelling the entire season, which we expected them to be. They just beat Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but that is a bad win. Like, I know parity is a thing. But when you have one of the top 5 teams in the league going against one of the bottom 2 teams in the league, that should be a win every time. And it wasn't. So, I mean, does that boost the confidence of Arizona? It should. It doesn't mean they're all of a sudden like this knockout team, but they have confidence. Hey, we beat that team. Now another top 5 team is coming in and we got to play them twice. So let's give them all we got. Where do you think this goes? Obviously, the Avalanche coming off of the overtime game against the Predators with the call and everything. We got to move on from that. Do you think the Avalanche take that as motivation and just throw the hammer down against Arizona?
The Avalanche should take this as motivation and see this back-to-back as, I mean, let's hang 2 touchdowns this weekend. I mean, it's
nice. Yeah,
the perfect situation for that, to get back on track and really get things rolling. I mean, we were talking about Buffalo at the beginning of the year. They were winning like 9 or 10 in a row. Like, they were looking good at the beginning of the year and they went back to normal. Like, fluke games happen. They beat Toronto. We did too. So we can easily thump the Yotes where they belong, down in the bottom of the league. And this is where we start to get our swagger back just a little bit, because I feel like the Avalanche are kind of still looking like we're being portrayed as one of those teams on the outside looking in. But when you look at us statistically and like compared to the rest of the teams in the conference, we are the top-notch standard. Yeah. And it's about time we start playing like it.
Well, and I think they have been overall. You know, you're going to have a letdown every once in a while. I don't feel like the Avalanche have had that. You know, they're in almost every single game that they've been playing. But I think they're maybe not getting like the quote unquote love because, you know, going into the season, everybody was just like, this team is going to run away with everything. And because they got off to that kind of, you know, lukewarm start and they're not 10 points up on the rest of the league, people are I don't want to say they've soured on them, but they're not where I think a lot of the pundits and the you know, talking heads have thought that they would be. They're at the top, but they're not head and shoulders above them. So I think maybe that's why. I don't know. But because I wanted to look up the overall, I believe the Coyotes have gotten out of the complete they have. They are 31 right now, and the Montreal Canadiens are 32. Coyotes have 19 points while the Canadiens have 18. So they've gotten out of the basement with that win over Toronto. Back to back, we're going to see both goalies. Who starts the first one? Who starts the second one? First one is in Colorado. Second one is in Arizona.
First one's got to be Frankie. Darcy's got to start in Arizona. It's him going back. He's got to be there in Arizona.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but I don't know. I could see it going either way. I feel like they're going to put Darcy in the first game. I could see why they would do it that way as a return to where he used to play. I don't think, the coaching staff cares about that. I don't think they care that he's returning back. For us, it'd be a nice story, and for the Coyotes, it'd be a nice story. And maybe they do play him, but I don't think if they play him in the second game, I don't think it's going to be for that reason. I think they play him now because he's had some time off. You got 2 days in a row off. Get him back out there because you play Friday, Saturday. Obviously, you're off Sunday, and you're right back out there Monday. So against Minnesota. So have him play Friday. You get 2 days off, take the weekend off, and then you're back Monday against a division rival at home.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's how I'd play it. But I think you're going to see an Avalanche team really come out, and especially the first game because it's at home. They always play well at home. It's got to go to 13 in a row at home. I mean, they have 12 right now. If they win, it's 13 in a row. Keep that winning streak going. Get back in the win column, and keep the train rolling. So that'll be it, everybody. Another week in the books. So Kyle and I will return on Monday to talk about those two Colorado Avalanche, Arizona Coyote games on Monday. So hopefully we can talk about 4 points.
That'd be great.
Let's do it. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. Head over to Locked On NHL. Make that your second listen of the day. Get caught up on everything around the league. I'm sure they're going to be talking about some snubs. You know who else got snubbed? Brad Marchand got snubbed.
Ooh.
He didn't make it. I'm sure he's in the voting for the 11th, obviously, but yeah, he didn't make it into the 10th.
He deserves that. He deserves that vote.
As much as I dislike that man, I mean, I dislike him because he's good. Well, I dislike him because he has a terrible attitude.
He's good at what he does.
He is. He really is. So, all right. That'll wrap it up, and we'll see everybody on Monday. He is Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli, and this is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys on Monday.